The moment you discover your true value, everything shifts. The way you move, the way you speak, the way you allow people to treat you, it all transforms. You no longer tolerate the bare minimum because you finally understand you are not average. You realize you are not here to beg for scraps of attention, love, or respect. You are the table itself, not someone desperate for a seat at it. When you know your worth, people sense it without you needing to announce it. They feel it in your silence, in the way you walk away from things that no longer serve you, and in the way you refuse to shrink yourself just to be accepted. Your presence commands respect, not because you demand it loudly, but because you embody it quietly. Respect flows naturally to those who respect themselves first. Life feels different when you carry yourself with this kind of confidence. You no longer chase, you attract, you no longer prove, you simply are. You realize that not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone is qualified to sit at your table, and not everyone is capable of loving you the way you deserve. And that is perfectly fine. Let them fall away and let them reveal themselves, because you are no longer afraid of being alone. You are afraid of losing yourself in places that don't value you. The most dangerous thing in this world is a person who knows their worth, because nobody can manipulate them. Nobody can make them feel small because they've already accepted their power. And when you reach that point, you don't need to fight for respect. You simply withdraw it. Once you know your value, you stop asking for permission to exist. You stop seeking validation from those who can't even see their own potential. You learn to walk away without explanation, because peace will always be more valuable than chaos. And you understand that the right people, the ones who truly deserve you, will never make you question your worth. They will recognize it, honor it, and match it. The truth is simple. You are not replaceable. You are not disposable. And you are not an option. You are a priority. And once you truly accept that, nobody will ever be able to play with you again. When you finally know your worth, you stop entertaining things that insult it. You stop saying yes to people who only drain you. You stop giving your time to those who show up empty-handed. And you stop allowing anyone to treat you as if you are disposable. Because the truth is, boundaries are not walls to keep the world out. Boundaries are doors with locks, protecting what is valuable inside, and you are valuable. Think about it. If you owned a diamond worth millions, would you leave it lying out in the street for anyone to pick up, touch, or steal? Of course not. You would guard it, protect it, and ensure that only the right people had access to it. Yet so many of you treat yourselves as if you are worthless stones, giving everyone free access to your time, your body, your mind, your energy. That is why people play with you. That is why they think they can disrespect you and still stay in your life. You've allowed it by not recognizing your own worth. When you know your value, the entire game changes. People can sense it without you even needing to say a word. It shows in the way you carry yourself, in the way you demand silence instead of begging for attention, in the way you walk away instead of fighting to be seen. Boundaries are born the moment you realize you deserve more. You start to say no. You start to walk away from half-hearted love. You stop settling for being an option when you know deep down you are the prize. You see, life will test you over and over. People will try to see how far they can push you. They will take advantage if you let them. But once you truly know your value, you don't even argue. You simply remove yourself. And that's the most powerful move you can ever make. Walking away silently speaks louder than any argument ever could. Because the moment you leave, people realize they have lost something irreplaceable. Boundaries are not cruel. They are self-respect. Saying no is not rejection. It is redirection. It is self-preservation. Stop feeling guilty for protecting yourself. Stop apologizing for knowing what you deserve. Too many people compromise themselves just to keep someone else comfortable. But let me tell you something. The more you lower your standards, the more people will step on you. The more you give without boundaries, the more they will take without giving back. And one day you will wake up exhausted, drained, and broken, wondering why no one values you. But here's the truth. Nobody can value you if you don't value yourself first. When you know your worth, you start walking differently. You stop showing up for people who cancel on you. You stop begging for love that comes in crumbs. You stop entertaining attention that is inconsistent. Your standards rise, not because you think you are better than anyone, but because you finally understand that what you bring to the table is rare. It is not for everyone. And once you realize that, you become selective. You stop pouring yourself into empty cups. You stop chasing people who are running from you. You stop being afraid of losing people who never truly saw you in the first place. And that's when your life begins to change, because energy attracts energy. When you set boundaries, when you know your worth, you start attracting people who respect you, who value your time, who treat you with care. The ones who cannot rise to your level simply fall away. You don't need to fight for that. It happens naturally. Boundaries act as a filter, removing what doesn't belong in your life and allowing only what truly matches your value to enter. I need you to understand something. Boundaries are not about keeping everyone up. They are about letting the right ones in. They are about building a life where you are no longer accessible to those who drain you, those who disrespect you, those who see you as an option. The moment you realize this, you stop being afraid of saying no. You stop being afraid of disappointing others, because the only person you should never disappoint is yourself. The truth is, people treat you exactly how you allow them to. If you tolerate disrespect, you will receive disrespect. If you give without boundaries, they will take endlessly. But if you show people that you will not compromise your standards, that you are willing to walk away rather than settle, they will either rise to meet your level or they will fall away. Either way, you win, because you are no longer sacrificing your self-worth for anyone. Boundaries are strength. They're the proof that you've outgrown playing small just to fit in. And once you master this, nobody can play with you. They may try, but they will quickly realize that you are not like everyone else. You are not desperate. You are not available to every hand that reaches for you. You are valuable, and you protect that value fiercely. So remember this, every time you say no to something beneath you, you are saying yes to the life you deserve. Every time you walk away from what disrespects you, you are walking closer to what values you. Every boundary you set is a declaration: I know my worth, and I will not let anyone treat me as if I am less than that. And once you embody that truth, once you breathe it, live it, and stand firm in it, the world changes. Not because people suddenly start respecting you, but because you finally respect yourself enough to stop accepting anything less. Respect always begins with you. The way you speak to yourself, the way you treat yourself, the way you value your time. It all sets the standard for how the world will treat you. People don't decide your worth. You do. And the truth is, if you don't respect yourself, nobody else will. You see, energy doesn't lie. If you walk into a room with your head down, doubting yourself, questioning your value, people pick up on that. If you accept disrespect because you're afraid of being alone, people learn that they can get away with it. But the moment you start to demand more from yourself, the moment you start to carry yourself with quiet confidence, everything changes, because respect is contagious. When you honor yourself, others follow. Respect isn't about shouting, proving, or forcing people to see you. It's about embodying dignity so deeply that people can't help but notice. It's in the way you say no without guilt, the way you prioritize your time, the way you refuse to beg for love or attention. Respect isn't loud, it's powerful, and it's silent. It's the energy that says, I know who I am, I don't need to convince anyone. And here's the thing, when you don't respect yourself, you leave the door open for others to disrespect you. Every time you let someone cross a boundary without consequence, you teach them that your boundaries don't matter. Every time you stay silent when you're disrespected, you reinforce the idea that you will tolerate it. But when you respect yourself, when you set clear standards, you draw a line in the sand that nobody dares to cross. People only treat you the way you allow them to. Respect starts with the small things. The way you talk to yourself when you fail. The way you treat your body. The way you manage your time. If you constantly criticize yourself, you invite others to do the same. If you neglect your own needs, you give people permission to do so as well. But if you nurture yourself, if you speak kindly to yourself, if you protect your peace, you show others that you are not someone who accepts chaos, disrespect, or neglect. Think about it. When you walk with confidence, people look at you differently. When you hold yourself with grace, people treat you differently. When you value your time, people stop wasting it. The respect you give yourself sets the tone for everything in your life. Your relationships, your career, your friendships, it is the foundation upon which all other respect is built. People can sense when you value yourself. They sense it in the way you don't chase after those who ignore you. They sense it in the way you choose peace over drama. They sense it in the way you refuse to lower your standards just to fit into someone else's idea of love or success. Respect becomes your shield, and that shield protects you from being played, manipulated, or belittled. The truth is, you don't even have to say much when you carry self-respect. It speaks for you. You don't need to demand respect with words because your energy demands it without saying a thing. People will approach you differently when they know you are not desperate, when they know you are not someone who settles. They will either step up or step away, and either option is a blessing. Respect is not arrogance. It's not about thinking you are better than others. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be treated with kindness, dignity, and fairness. It's about refusing to compromise your worth for anyone's convenience. And the beautiful thing is, when you respect yourself, you naturally attract people who respect themselves too. You stop entertaining toxic people because they no longer have a place in your world. And yes, some people will leave when you start respecting yourself. Some will call you difficult or selfish when you no longer tolerate their disrespect. Let them leave, because the truth is the only people who are bothered by your self-respect are the ones who benefited from your lack of it. The ones who truly value you will never be threatened by your standards. They will rise to meet them. You want people to respect you? Show them how it's done. Respect your boundaries. Respect your time. Respect your own heart. Enough to stop giving it to those who mishandle it. Respect your mind enough to stop feeding it with negativity. Remember this, respect is not something you chase, it's something you command. Not by force, not by arrogance, but by the way you live. By the way you value yourself. By the way you refuse to shrink or settle. The world mirrors back to you the way you treat yourself. So if you want respect, start with the reflection in the mirror. Because once you master that, once you truly honor yourself, you'll find that nobody can play with you. Nobody can reduce you. Nobody can make you feel small. Because you've already decided you are worthy, you are valuable, and you are deserving of respect. Detachment is one of the greatest forms of power you can ever master. Most people live their lives clinging desperately to things, to people, to situations, terrified of losing what they believe they cannot live without. And because of that fear, they become prisoners of their own attachments. They tolerate mistreatment. They accept disrespect. They stay in environments that drain them because they are afraid of walking away. But once you understand your worth, once you step into your power, you realize that detachment is not weakness. It is freedom. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you're cold, unfeeling, or heartless. It means you value your peace above chaos. It means you are not willing to sacrifice your self-respect just to keep something that was never truly yours to begin with. It means you understand that anything meant for you will never require you to lose yourself in the process of keeping it. Most people confuse attachment with love, but they are not the same. Attachment is fear-based. It's the anxiety of, what if they leave me? What if I lose this? What if I never find better? Love is calm. Love is free. Love is not about control or possession. When you are attached, you give people the power to play with you because they can sense your fear of losing them. But when you are detached, you reclaim that power. You stop begging. You stop proving. You stop chasing what doesn't serve you. You let go with grace. Detachment is a mindset. If it's for me, it's supposed to stay. If it's not, I release it. That is the ultimate form of strength, because when you cling too tightly to things, you suffocate them. You suffocate yourself. You end up chained to what is draining you. But when you release your grip, when you let things flow, you create space for what is real, what is true, what is meant for you. You will notice something powerful. When you become detached, you are no longer shaken by people's games. You don't panic when someone pulls away. You don't beg when someone tries to leave. You don't fight to prove your worth to those who can't see it. You stand still in your power, knowing that your value does not decrease just because someone else is too blind to see it. You understand that your peace, your dignity, and your self-respect are worth more than any relationship, any job, any friendship that requires you to lose yourself. And here's the truth. When you are detached, you become unshakable. People cannot manipulate you with silence because you are comfortable with your own. They cannot control you with fear of abandonment because you are not afraid to walk alone. They cannot trap you with false promises because you know that your life does not depend on anyone's presence. That kind of freedom terrifies people who want control because they realize they have no hold over you. Detachment is also a filter. It shows you who truly belongs in your life and who doesn't. When you stop clinging, the wrong people naturally fall away because they only stayed when they could feed off your fear. But the right people, the ones who truly value you, remain. They don't stay because you beg them to. They stay because they recognize your worth and they want to be there. Detachment clears the fog. It reveals what is real. You need to understand that nothing in this world is permanent. People change, circumstances shift, life moves forward whether you are ready or not. The only thing you can truly hold on to is yourself. And when you finally realize this, you stop being afraid of letting go. You stop clinging to temporary things. You stop crying over closed doors because you understand that every ending is simply a redirection. When you detach, you gain peace, you gain clarity. You stop wasting energy trying to control outcomes that were never yours to control. You begin to trust the flow of life. You begin to trust yourself. And most importantly, you begin to trust that no matter what leaves, you will always be enough. So many people waste years trying to fix others, trying to keep toxic relationships alive, trying to hold on to something that is already crumbling, that is not love. That is fear. Love never asks you to lose yourself. Love never demands that you sacrifice your peace. Detachment allows you to see this clearly. It allows you to step away from what is destroying you, even when your heart wants to stay. Because true strength is not holding on. True strength is letting go when you need to. You have to ask yourself, what are you holding on to that is holding you back? Who are you afraid to lose that is already draining the life out of you? Why are you clinging to situations that constantly remind you of your lack of value? Detachment forces you to face these truths. And once you do, you begin to reclaim your freedom. The moment you master detachment, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You stop being played with. You stop being toyed with by people who think they can control you with fear. You are no longer desperate. You are no longer begging. You are no longer chained. You are free, and freedom is the most powerful thing you will ever own. Detachment is not cold, it's powerful. It's choosing yourself over chaos. It's walking away when it no longer feels right. It's protecting your energy so fiercely that nothing can break your peace. It's not about closing your heart. It's about opening your eyes. And once you open them, once you truly embrace detachment, you will see the truth. You don't lose anything when you let go of what was never meant for you. And when you know this, when you live this, you become unstoppable. Because nobody can play with someone who has nothing to prove and nothing to cling to. When you truly know your worth, something inside you shifts. You stop chasing. You no longer run after people, opportunities, or validation because you finally realize that what is meant for you will find you. You no longer beg for attention. You no longer compromise your peace just to be seen. And you no longer fight for a seat at tables where you were never meant to sit. Instead, you begin to attract. Your energy changes. Your presence changes. And suddenly the things you once chased begin to chase you. The truth is, chasing is rooted in lack. It comes from a belief that you are not enough, that you must prove yourself in order to be chosen, in order to be valued. That desperation leaks into your energy, and people can feel it. They sense when you are needy, when you are willing to overgive, when you are afraid of losing them, and instead of respecting you, they use it. They know they can keep you around without effort because you're too busy running after them. But when you stop chasing, when you begin to move differently, everything changes. You no longer send endless texts waiting for a reply. You no longer pour your heart into people who give you crumbs. You no longer place your worth in the hands of others. Instead, you stand still in your power. You let your silence speak. You let your absence be louder than your presence. And suddenly people start noticing. They start realizing that you are not like everyone else, that you are not desperate for their attention, their love, or their approval. Attraction is powerful because it is effortless. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to beg. You simply exist in your power, and the right people are drawn to you. The right opportunities are magnetized towards you. The energy you embody becomes the energy you attract. Think of it this way. The sun doesn't chase anyone. It rises, it shines, and everything gravitates toward it naturally. Flowers turn in its direction. Life depends on its warmth. People crave its light. The sun doesn't need to beg for attention. It simply exists as it is. And that is exactly how you must learn to move. You are not here to chase. You are here to shine. And when you shine in your own power, everything that is meant for you will naturally be pulled towards you. This is where the power of attraction becomes unshakable. You attract what you believe you deserve. If you see yourself as unworthy, you attract people who treat you that way. If you see yourself as valuable, and whole, you attract people who mirror that back to you. It's not about magic, it's about energy. The world reflects to you what you already carry inside. So the question is, what are you carrying? Are you carrying desperation, fear, self-doubt? Or are you carrying confidence, self-respect, and peace? Because the answer to that question will determine what shows up in your life. Stop thinking that chasing will give you love. Stop believing that running after people will make them value you. It won't. In fact, the more you chase, the more you teach them that they are above you. But the moment you stop, the moment you withdraw, the moment you shift your focus back to yourself, something powerful happens. They start chasing you because they feel the loss of your energy. They feel the absence of your presence, and they realize you are not someone they can afford to lose. And even if they don't come back, understand this. Your worth was never tied to them. Your value was never in their hands. The universe does not reward those who beg. It rewards those who know their power. And that is why the shift from chasing to attracting is so important. Because it changes your energy, and energy changes everything. You will notice that when you stop chasing, your life feels lighter. You feel less anxious. You stop overthinking every text, every call, every interaction. You stop waiting for people to choose you because you have already chosen yourself. And that kind of peace cannot be shaken. This is how you begin to attract not just people, but opportunities, jobs, friendships, partnerships, blessings, all of them start flowing towards you because you have created space for them. When you are busy chasing, your energy is chaotic, desperate, and cluttered. But when you are still confident and rooted in your worth, you are open, you are magnetic, you are aligned. So stop running, stop begging, stop proving. You are not here to chase, you are here to attract. You are not here to shrink. You are here to shine. You are not here to convince anyone of your worth. You are here to embody it so deeply that those who cannot see it fall away, and those who can are pulled towards you effortlessly. Remember this, chasing drains you, attraction fills you. Chasing lowers your value, attraction amplifies it. Chasing is rooted in fear, attraction is rooted in power. The choice is always yours. And once you choose attraction over chasing, once you stand firmly in your work, nobody can play with you again, because you will never run after what is not meant for you. You will simply allow what is meant to flow towards you. The most powerful version of you is the one who fully understands your worth. When you finally reach that place, you become unshakable. Nobody can reduce you. Nobody can manipulate you. And nobody can make you feel less than what you are, because your validation no longer comes from the outside world. It comes from within. That is where true power lives. When you don't know your worth, you hand people the keys to your identity. You let their opinions shape the way you see yourself. A compliment lifts you, an insult breaks you. You feel powerful when someone validates you, but you collapse when they withdraw it. That is why people can play with you, because they sense your dependence on their approval. They know they can control you with silence, with inconsistency, with games. But once you know your worth, that control disappears. Nobody can shake you when you are rooted in yourself. It doesn't matter if they leave. It doesn't matter if they ghost you. It doesn't matter if they choose someone else. You no longer see it as a reflection of your value. You see it for what it truly is, a reflection of theirs. People's treatment of you says more about them than it ever will about you. And when you internalize that truth, you stop allowing external noise to dictate how you feel about yourself. The unshakable version of you is calm. You don't panic when things shift because you know nothing real can ever be taken away. You don't beg for love because you know love that requires begging is not love at all. You don't cling to situations that hurt you because you know you are worthy of peace. You no longer live on the roller coaster of external validation. You've built a foundation so strong inside yourself that no storm can move it. This is the kind of strength people cannot play with. Because most manipulation feeds on insecurity. It thrives when someone doubts themselves, when they are desperate for approval, when they are terrified of being left. But when you know your value, those tactics don't work. Silence doesn't scare you. Rejection doesn't define you. Abandonment doesn't destroy you. Because you have built a home within yourself. You have become the source of your own validation. And here's the thing, people feel this energy. They feel it when you don't flinch at their games. They feel it when you don't chase them after they pull away. They feel it when they try to shake your foundation and realize you won't budge. That kind of strength is magnetic and it is intimidating because not everyone knows how to deal with someone who cannot be broken. This doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It doesn't mean you'll never cry or that you'll never get hurt. It means you will never allow that pain to define you. You will never allow temporary disappointment to rewrite your worth. You will never allow loss to convince you that you are not enough. That's the difference. Weakness is collapsing when life gets heavy. Strength is standing tall even when your heart aches, even when the world feels unfair, even when everything tries to push you down. The unshakable version of you doesn't live for others. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to fight to be seen. You don't need to compete to be chosen. You already know you are the prize, and that energy makes people treat you differently. They approach you with respect, with caution, with awareness that you are not someone who can be taken lightly. Once you know your worth, you start moving differently. You don't beg for closure. You give it to yourself. You don't hold grudges. You let go because peace is worth more than revenge. You don't lower your standards. You enforce them because you finally understand they protect your energy. You stop being reactive to everything around you and you start responding from a place of calm power. That's what makes you untouchable. It is not arrogance. It is self-respect. It is not pride. It is self-awareness. And it is not coldness. It is wisdom. Wisdom that tells you if they cannot see your value, it is not your job to convince them. Wisdom that reminds you what leaves was never meant for you. Wisdom that whispers the right people will never make you feel small. And because of that, nobody can play with you. They may try. They may test your boundaries. They may attempt to provoke you. But they will quickly realize they are dealing with someone who cannot be shaken, someone who has already claimed their power. And when they realize that, they either step up or step aside. Your unshakable power is not about being hot or unfeeling. It is about being rooted. It is about being grounded in your truth so deeply that you no longer sway with the opinions, actions, or approval of others. It is about knowing that your worth is not negotiable, not up for debate, and not dependent on who chooses you. This is the energy that protects you, the energy that frees you, the energy that elevates you. The moment you embody it, life changes. Toxic people fall away, opportunities align, peace enters. Because the universe mirrors back the energy you hold within. And when you hold unshakable power, you attract things that match it. So understand this clearly. You are not weak. You are not disposable. And you are not someone who can be played with. You are valuable, powerful, and unshakable. And once you step into that truth, nobody, not a person, not a situation, not even life itself can ever take that away from you.